Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa and I make videos all about candle making and being a small candle shop owner. In this video series, I am going to be sharing so much information. So before I actually got into things, I wanted to give you a brief overview of exactly what to expect. First, I'm going to be reviewing virgin coconut soy from the Wick Co. I'm pretty much decided on using this for my own shop. However, I wanted to put a formal review out there. There just isn't much information about this wax, and it definitely can make it difficult when trying to decide which one to use. Second, I'm going to be testing some wicks, y'all. So I have 4 different wicks I'm going to be testing. 2 are going to be wooden wicks from a local supplier. The other 2 are going to be wicks from Candle Science, and those were the wicks that were like recommended for my jar. So we'll kind of see how that goes. And then lastly, I'm gonna try to figure out a way to still use the virgin coconut soy wax for my tart melts. As you know, or maybe you don't know, it's very soft naturally, so it doesn't really make nice for a tart or like for a clamshell mold. It's definitely something you would put like in a wax shop, but that I don't want to have to only make wax tarts or wax melts that way. I want to still put them in the molds that I got that are super cute. So I'm gonna see if adding some sort of paraffin wax to it helps firm up the wax a little bit and make it a little bit more ideal for a clamshell mold. So like I said, a lot of information, right? I know. I'm gonna break it up into a few videos, not really sure what the end result is going to look like. However, I will be sure to put my links in the description box below so you know everything it is that I'm using. I don't have any affiliate links. I also am not sponsored by anyone. So you are really going to get, a very honest review, very detailed and raw. So use the comment section if you have any questions. I will get back to you as soon as I can. And yeah, now we can get into things. Okay, everybody, so this is 10 pounds of virgin coconut soy wax from the Wick Co. I opened the box prior to filming this just because I wanted to make sure everything that I ordered was in here and everything I ordered is in here. I had also ordered one of their fragrances I was very intrigued by. It is the black currant and rhubarb, and it smells nice. For me, it smells more like something I would put in soap, or maybe even like a scrub or lotion or something like that. It doesn't smell like candle to me personally, but it does smell good. This is a 5-pound slab from the Wick Co. This is how they have them. So you could either get them in 5-pound slabs or you can get them in 45-pound slabs. Even though I was decided on using this wax, I didn't want to order too much just on the off chance that something went totally left. However, in the future, I will be purchasing most likely in 45-pound slabs because that just makes the most sense. And it is just so pretty. It is so pretty. This is what the slab kind of looks like. And I don't even think it was that warm in my apartment. This is why I don't want to make the wax tarts with just this. Like, it is definitely soft enough to melt in your hands, but that is so cool. But yeah. So to actually cut this wax, I'm going to be using a dough scraper or a dough cutter that they naturally use like in the kitchens, but this has a sharp enough edge to where it's not necessarily going to hurt me, but it will slice like cake through this wax. You could use something like a regular knife that you dedicate to your wax. You could probably honestly use a spoon. I've also seen Stanley Handcrafted use an ice cream scoop. I thought that was really, really cool. So this is also definitely something that you could do. I would definitely recommend it. But I also am going to take a small piece just to kind of show you all, but I don't know where I want to cut. We'll cut right here. Okay, we'll cut here. But yeah, it definitely cuts through it so easily. And that's really, really cool. It makes it really easy to get through. Smelling it, y'all, I don't even get the coconut scent. I know that that might be a concern with a few people when you're thinking, oh, does it smell like coconut oil or does it smell like coconut? It really doesn't. It really is, in my opinion, pretty white. But honestly, I thought soy was pretty white, so I didn't expect the blend to be any different. But yeah, it smells like wax. Like, it smells like unscented wax. No coconut. I might be tripping, but there's no coconut there. But yeah, this is really cool how cleanly it cuts. It comes in these nice, really, like these super nice slabs. You guys saw how it melts at the fingertip. And now we are going to see how this bad boy melts and how it cools. It does say that it's a 1 pour wax, but we're going to see. Something I should have did before I got into it is the details do tell you that this is a virgin coconut soy wax. It's a container wax that has a creamy white appearance, which it does. It has exceptional adhesion, which we'll see. Excellent fragrance throw, which I'll test. And it exhibits an evenness of burn and wax consumption. So again, I'm going to be testing all of this to make sure that this is fact and it's true. It says that the wax can handle a 9 to 10 fragrance load. It melts at 122 degrees Fahrenheit or 50 degrees Celsius with the optimal pouring temperature at 180 to 190, and that's pretty high. So we'll see how this goes. But yeah, I'm excited. So more to come. We're gonna go and make some candles. Okay, cool. So before we actually get into making these candles, just gonna go through all of the supplies that I'm gonna be using. Primarily, I'm gonna be using a pouring pitcher. This is for my double boiler method. That's how I'm going to melt this wax. But feel free to use anything like a Presto pot or a Chandler and Me wax melter. Those things will be great to melt your wax. Just don't do anything like put it on the direct heat because wax is combustible. You're going to need a thermometer. You are going to need a scale to weigh your wax. You are going to need some alcohol to clean your vessels. You are going to need scissors or wick trimmers to cut your wicks. I have masking tape and a permanent marker. Because I'm testing wicks, I have labeled my vessels with the name of the wick. That way I know what wick to put in it, and I know what wick I'll be testing after they dry and stuff like that. You're also going to need your wicks, which, like I said, I have 4. You're going to need your wick stickers to actually stick them to your vessel. You are going to need wick centers or just something to help you stabilize those wicks. Now for 2 of them, they are wooden wicks. I'm not going to really need to use these, but the other 2 are cotton wicks, so these will come in handy. And then you're going to need something to help you put the wick in there. I use 2 things. I use a mechanical pencil tube. You can use a pen tube as well to help me get the cotton wick down in there. And then I use a wooden skewer to actually push it down and make sure that it stays, because I don't want it to lift or move around once the wax get in there. And then I have these reusable shot cups to catch any extra wax that I might have. I'm actually also going to be testing one of the fragrances that I put in here, just to kind of see and compare to the paraffin addition of the wax. That made no sense how I said it. I'm going to pour the virgin coconut soy as is in here and then compare it to the second part of the series when I add paraffin to it to see what the differences are. That made more sense, right? And then lastly, I have these 2 containers. You'll probably only need 1. I have 2 because I am testing 4 different wicks. I'm going to be making 4 different candles, but only 3 of them are going to be scented. I didn't see a need to test all that fragrance oils when I'm just going to be burning and most likely power burning these to see how they behave in the vessel. But then I had to think to myself, well, you're reviewing a wax, so you have to see what the fragrance load is like in the hot throw and the cold throw. So one of the 4 will be scented, and that's what this is for. So I'm gonna cut up wax and measure and weigh in this one for 3 candles, and then I'm gonna use this one to put enough wax to weigh for 1 candle and that shot cup. So that's everything you pretty much need to make a candle. I have gloves here as well because I'm gonna want to use gloves while I'm cutting up this wax. But yeah, now I can show you how to make some candles. All right, y'all. So it took me a while, but I think I finally got the right angle. The next thing that we're going to be doing is we are going to be weighing the amount of wax that we need for my 4 vessels. Now, the reason why you see 2 containers here is this container is going to have the unscented wax. So that's going to come to about 24 ounces because the 3 vessels hold 8 ounces each. So that's why I have this one. And then the smaller one, it's still a little wet from the alcohol I used to just clean it, but this is going to hold 9 ounces. Usually the math in this case could kind of be annoying, but because I'm only making 1 scented candle, it's pretty straightforward. I'm going to put about 9 ounces in this, and the idea behind that is I'm going to use 8 ounces for the actual vessel, but I want some leftover wax. That way I can test test how the wax holds up in this wax shot. So I wanted to make sure I had leftover, and the amount of fragrance oil that I'm going to be using is going to put this around 10 to 11% for fragrance load. I know it said that it holds a 9 to 10% fragrance load easily, but I have 1 ounce of wax, so I might just add, or I have 1 ounce of fragrance oil that I'm going to be using, so I'm going to try to just add a little bit over 9 ounces. That way I don't mess up with the wax's fragrance load or anything like that. But let's go ahead and get some wax into these bad boys. I have my water boiling. I'm gonna go ahead and melt down my 24 ounces of wax. That wax is going to be used to make my 3 unscented candles, and then later on I'll come back and I'll melt the 9 to 10 ounces for the scented candle in wax shots. So I'll go ahead and get this melted down. I probably won't show you much of the process for the scented candles, the unscented candles rather, but I'll show you guys how I make the scented candles. So I'll be right back. ahead and I made my unscented candles. I have the 9 to 10 ounces that I melted for my scented candles, and I got my wax up to about 188 degrees. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my fragrance. It is white sage and lavender from Candle Science. It's actually a scent I decided not to have part of my line, not because it smelled good, but there were just so many options. I just had to like pick my favorites and what was going to work best. And this one, I'm not gonna use it right now, but I'm definitely going to use it in the future because it just smells so good. We are going to mix that vigorously for about 2 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to tear this because I want to pour only 8 ounces in it. And then the rest will go into this shot cup. Cool. Now I have to pour really slowly because I will admit I made a little bit of a mess when pouring the other ones. So I just want to be careful. The trick is to pour as close to the wick as possible and to bring your pouring pitcher up so that it doesn't leak over the edge. Almost there. Cool. So I'm going to remove that. Going to tear these only because I want to see how much wax this can actually hold. This one's going to be even more tricky. And there's like a line there that tells you where to stop pouring. And I'm going to try to get right to it. Cool. I was trying to get to 1.5, but I'm not gonna do too much. I'm just gonna go grab another one. All right, so it is about 24 hours after I initially made these candles. So 1, 2, and 3 are unscented, and this one is my scented candle. In terms of cold throw, the cold throw is really nice. I left these here on the counter, and every time I would walk by to get something from the fridge or from the sink, you get a pleasant whiff of the scent. So to me, that's kind of impressive. So I'm excited to see what it looks like when I burn it. If I look closely at the wax, these bad boys set pretty nicely. And there's like some pulling towards the middle of the wick. I don't know if the camera is really grasping it, but it's just the slightest dip. I think that kind of shows you. And to me, that was really... it actually looks kind of cool to me, but I probably wouldn't leave it like this. And even when cutting the wicks, you can see how some of the wax started to like move around and stuff, and that's just because it's naturally just so soft. So what I would do if I was gonna sell these, I would just hit it with the heat gun just to kind of get as smooth of a surface as possible after trimming my wicks, just so that I'm hoping in delivery to the customer it would still look pretty cute. Because like even with this one, you can see like, because I had to move the wick around in order to cut the wick, you can see how it started to like move around just because it's just so soft. It's the natural nature of the wax. So, but I mean, to me, that doesn't make it unattractive. It doesn't make me like the wax any less. It's nothing that a heat gun wouldn't fix, in my opinion. So I think I'm still down to use these as part of my shop. I just love, love, love the silkiness and the smoothness. And I achieved this in one pour. Like, I didn't touch anything like up at all. Like, I don't know, that's really impressive to me. So those are some cool points towards the wax. It is now 11:42, so I am going to go ahead and burn these bad boys to see what they look like in these vessels. So I'm going to burn them for an hour. I'll show you guys what they look like after the first hour, after the second hour, after the third hour, and then after the fourth hour, just to kind of see over time what they look like. And I'm still trying to see if I want to somehow remove some of the wax and see what they look like when they get towards the bottom. That might just end up in me doing like a whole power burn. Don't worry, I'll be really safe, and I'll keep my eyes on these bad boys if I do decide to power burn these. But I'll keep you guys posted. You will at least see the 4-hour result. So we can see what the melt pool and all of that good stuff is looking like. So stay tuned, and I'll be here to show you guys what it looks like.